These are the exile lands, a harsh and unforgiving place. Everything here, from the majestic frost giants in the north to the mysterious creatures roaming the jungle of the south, are here to hunt and kill you. Even though these lands are rough, people flourish here in small settlements like the Dafari, or behind great walls of stone and iron like the people living in the fortresses built by the lords of the B.O.U.P clan. Heroes are made in these lands, such as the mighty Preben, but not all of them are made by the sword and bow. Some are made for simpler things, and this is one such hero's story. This is the story about Kurt and how he became a hero. People of these lands cling to what they had before they came here, like the season's festivals. The most popular of those are almost upon the lands, the winter festival known as Yule time. Our story begins here, the mighty guild hall of the B.O.U.P clan, where Lord Kozak presides. There is a feeling in the air, the feeling of Yule time. Every staff member of the hall can feel it, especially the master of the stables, Andy. He is a hard and strict man, but more than that, he is a cheap man, and for a man as cheap as him, he have just received the best news possible. News that Lord Kozak is going to celebrate Yule time in Baboon City as a guest of Lord Yes, which means that Andy is free to use the hall for him and his family. Andy is not slow to concoct a plan to invite his sister and her family up to the hall for a Yule time feast. He will provide the location, and they will come with all the food and drink. Gold saved is gold earned. When there are things to be done in the stables, Andy uses the stable boy, not the brightest man in the exiled lands, but he gets the job done. Sometimes, Andy tasks him to go to Baboon City and deliver invites to his sister. As he runs away, Andy can't stop thinking about all the gold he's gonna save. Baboon City, home of Lord Yes, the jewel of the jungle, with its massive cathedral towering over the city. It is by far the biggest city in the exile lands. It is here we find Andy's sister, Julianne. She is participating in a ritual she goes through every morning, yelling at her husband Kurt. She is so deep into this routine that she hasn't noticed he snuck off during her rant. And right before the hitting of the jaw routine, she gets interrupted. News from her brother. He invites them to the guild hall for a great feast in celebration of the winter festival. Bring food and drink. Was it true? Were they really going to the guild hall? She could not believe it. There was much to be done. A list of things they had to get, and a breaking of a husband's jaw for sneaking out. Nothing is more determined than a woman on a mission. And Julianne was very determined. Find Kurt, give him a good smacking, and send him out to get supplies for the feast. She knew just the place to find him. Baboon City Docks. And as suspected, there was Kurt, telling stories, drinking beer, having a good time. But that was about to change, drastically. After the confrontation, Julianne lay down the law. They were going to celebrate Yuletime at the guild hall. She would be going there with the family, and Kurt would meet them there, but not before he got a few supplies for the feast. When it was all said and done, Kurt was left alone to take in the situation. This year had not been the best for the man of the family. He had not been able to hang on to a job, and there had been many of them this year. And now her cheap brother wanted them to come to the hall. He knew that it had always been her dream to go there. So why not? He could not help to think about all the years Andy had come to them for the festival. He never brought anything, only a bag for leftovers. But Kurt never said anything. If she wanted to go, he would not stand in her way of her dream. What was it now? The supplies. Rum from the Rum Brothers, herbs from Connie Curry, and meat from Michelangelo. Easy, he thought. Let's do it. So he ran. He ran for the main gate as fast as he could, and as he stood there looking out into the world, he was certain that he would be the man that made this year's festival the best ever. He would be the man that made all their dreams come true. He would be... Oh, not good. Let's just cut to the running. Kurt started his epic journey. He knew time was short, so he ran like the wind. Nothing was going to stop him. He would be successful even if it took... Oh, break already. Well, guess that's fair. You already ran a whole 2 feet. After a way too long break, he continued on his quest. He climbed. He ran and ran and ran. Encountered the local wildlife. Swam like he was being chased by demons. And by the gods, he ran some more. By nightfall, Kurt had reached the first stop on his journey, the Rum Brothers camp. Little Ron and his brother Big Ron was the men to go to if one wanted cheap but good rum in the exile lands. There was no sell tax on their products, like the rum you could get behind the walls of the big cities. Kurt knew that Julianne used to work with the brothers long before they hooked up. Come to think of it, she used to work with all the names on this list. With some smooth talking and flashing of gold coin, Kurt was able to get the rum for a very good price. Now that the first leg of his epic quest was at an end, Kurt had a warm feeling about him. Some would say it was from all the running, others that it was the fireplace, but Kurt was convinced that it was a feeling of satisfaction. Satisfaction for a job well done. The rum was in the bag. Next stop, herbs. It had been a long day, and he was tired. Tomorrow he would head out, go for the herbs. But for now it was time to sleep, and as he got ready for bed, he did not notice the figure that was standing up the hill, watching him.
Kurt went out in the snow, his bow strung tight, let's go. Hunting dinner for the feast, jingle bells echo east. lost in the pines so deep. Cold wind began to creep. Snowflakes started to twirl. Lost boy in a white swirl. Kurt out in the wood, trying to do what he should. Christmas night, oh so near, found a friend in a deer. Deer stood tall, his breath white, eyes so soft in the night. Led Kurt through forest wide, warmth awaited inside. Kurt out in the wood, trying to do what he should. Christmas night, oh so near, found a friend in a deer. No more fear in the dark, love and light left a mark. Deer and boy side by side, on a wintry joyride. Ooh. Deer stood tall, his breath white, eyes so soft in the night. Led Kurt through forest wide, warmth awaited in deer. No more fear in the dark, love and light left a mark. Deer and boy side by side, on a wintry joyride. Oh.